What's up, everybody? Doug Lane here, Fast Lane Car Care. Today we got a 2018 Subaru. Don't even know what it is. Is it an Impreza? I didn't even ask. I didn't look. Let's see what it is. Subaru. Yeah, it's an Impreza. It's the sport version. This car was allegedly done by one of the biggest names in window tint in my area. I say allegedly because they don't have a receipt or, proof of purchase or invoice number or anything like that, but really, I say allegedly because they don't have a proof of purchase or a receipt or anything like that. It doesn't really matter. Let's check out this tint job. So I'm sure you guys noticed when I walked back here right off the bat, we got ourselves a classic case of adhesive failure, right? And then we've got, what do you even call this? Is this just like a wrinkle? We got ourselves some fingers. This could be adhesive failure too. So the story is, more adhesive failure. This is what kills me right here. Like, how do you even manage that? If you've been tinting for longer than I've been alive, or close to as long as I've been alive, you should not like that. I don't even know how you would do that. But anyway, the story on this is, lifetime warranty, blah, blah, blah. The gentleman calls and says, hey, this is an issue. And he said it was out of warranty. So I'm not sure how you get out of warranty on a lifetime warranty. If you look at this, you can see it's all wavy looking. Let's check this out from the inside. So this is one thing that kills me. A lot of people will say, dark tint is illegal. It should be illegal because you can't see out of it. You can't see out of this stuff. This stuff isn't terrible yet, but when you look out the rear view mirror, I don't know if I can show you. Let's see. Can I get, probably not. But when you look out the rear view mirror on this, it's very distorted. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't really see it very well. You can't see out of it. And the worse this gets, the longer this goes, the more adhesive fails, the more wavy and distorted it's going to get. That should be illegal. It should be illegal to drive with bubbly tint. So, like I told the jump, look, there's a freaking bug. There's a bug down in that tent. Oh man, I hope you can see that. It's a spider. There's a little spider down in this tunnel. Oh man, it looks like there's more spiders. I've never seen anything like this before. But anyway, I told the person that referred this person to me, this had to have been there when they picked it up, and I would have told them right then and there, take it back and fix it or give me my money back. But let's check out the rest of this. I got my shank here. Let me see if I can show you. We cut the corner here. We did not tuck the tint into the gasket at all. We got another cut line here. We got ourselves a whole light gap down through here. And these look hand cut. All right. Let's see. What do we got over here? This one looks okay. We got quite a bit of dust, but I mean, that happens. This is my favorite right here. Look at that. See our cut line right through there? See that? Plain as day. Which, it happens. I ain't going to say I've never had one do this. Generally, if it's that bad, if I've got the film to replace it, I'd replace it right off the bat. There's one occasion I can recall where I had to order it, and when you roll the window down, I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. What sometimes happens is when this window rolls down, it may shift a certain way, and so when you lay this down, it looks good, and then when you roll the window up, it kind of tilts a little bit, and then you get this exposed edge. I had that happen on a brand new Jeep, and it was the last bit of film off the roll, so I was like, hey, I can't match it with a different type of film because even though it's the same shade, it may have a slightly different color or whatever, but I said, if that little bit bothers you, bring it back. It wasn't the whole deal. It was like a little section like right there at the very top. But I said, bring it back. I'll have the film next week. We'll get it switched for you. More quarter window catastrophes here. We got our cut edge, and then, you know, light gap for days through here, the entire bottom edge. This is why I like to take these windows apart, because you can get edge to edge. This very top corner here is very unforgiving on these Subarus, especially, and it takes about 10 minutes to pull these windows out. This is my favorite though. This is my favorite window right here. We got ourselves a cut line, right? Let's see if we can follow this all the way down. Look at this edge. Look at this. Like, what in the heck? What are you even thinking that you thought that that was acceptable? And there's no way you could miss this. I don't care if you're tinting in the dark. I mean, you can clearly see a light gap here. We've torn the film up a little bit, which that could have happened from being rolled up and down, but I doubt it. And we didn't tuck it past the seals, which isn't the end of the world. You know, if you have decent film and it's stuck, it doesn't matter. This little sweep right here isn't going to tear it up. It's not going to peel it up. But what else we got? This window didn't turn out terrible. It looks like you got a cut line, but it's really consistent. It blends really well. We got a spot where we didn't quite clean the window well enough. It's not wanting to stick. It's got some dust in it. And, you know, top edge is peeled back because they couldn't tuck it in, and we got a light gap all the way around, of course. And it's a Subaru with eyesight, so no strips. Yeah, you don't want to mess up the cameras. The only thing we're getting paid for today is to remove and replace this front window, or this back window. I don't know why I said front. I can look. You probably won't be able to see it on camera, but if I catch the light just right, I can see that this film is distorted. You know, it is what it is. The rest of this car is going to look like that back window eventually. Man, and it's a shame, because if this gentleman is correct, and this car did come from the shop that he says that it came from, this shop is generally between, for last I knew, fantastic, now we gotta clean that, last I knew, anywhere between $50 to $100 more expensive than me, and I wouldn't let half of this stuff go. So let's go ahead and get our, I have to wipe that down when we put it back on. One perk of keeping your floor clean, it really didn't get that dirty. So yeah, I'm gonna have to raise my prices. Like, if this is the type of craftsmanship that comes from a shop that's been around for like 30 years, like, I feel bad, but my Spider Bro is gonna die. Then, like, you know, hate to say it, but I bet you that's probably why they had that finger there. They couldn't get this film tucked in here, but you saw how easy it was to remove this. And then it's just a matter of finagling it to where you can push this little tab down. There we go. Now we don't have to worry about that at all. We don't have to worry about cutting around it. I'm gonna guess this is hand cut just by how uneven this is, which isn't terrible. Don't get me wrong. This is a good hand cut. It's just, you know, I like to look at things and see, okay, did they use a plotter? Did they hand cut? You know, whatever. So what we're gonna do is get our trusty Walmart steamer here. Whoa. Handle's a little short. Let's go ahead, turn that on, and for starters, before that heats up, let's just go ahead and tuck this like all the way down, because we really don't care if the towel gets wet, but we don't really want to soak the plastic. Oh man, you know what I just realized? What if that spider drops down on my head? And then I turn into Spider-Man. That'd be crazy. Now we're gonna start getting some heat. The most efficient way to do this would be to, are we really not gonna stay? Most efficient way would be to take a trash bag, put the trash bag in here, and then put the steamer hose in the bottom so that basically the steam is contained to this area. It's not gonna make a huge difference. We won't have time to sit around and wait on it all day anyway. Get our hose shook up here, our keg. Had a mobile job to do last night. See how the steam works this whole area? Right, and that's already getting warm. And we can move it around a little bit. You know, like maybe we don't want to just hammer the whole section. But while we're sitting here waiting, I need to put trash bag in there. Trash night, trash day, whatever. So, of course, all the big trash cans are gone, but now what this steam's gonna do is two things. Primarily, it's going to get the glass hot, get the glue and the film hot, but it's also gonna keep it wet. So it keeps it generally from getting really brittle and makes it come off way nicer and easier than if you did not have that. So some people do everything on the outside. You know, they put their new pattern on, do all that, cut it, and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna do that. This film isn't terribly old, so it should come off pretty decent as long as it's warm. I lied, it's gonna leave every ounce of glue behind. Should have known. That really sucks. Wait for it to start steaming again. This is like the unfortunate thing, you know, what happens when you, I don't know, I guess, I hate to say get cheap tint, because, like I said, if this came from the shop that it's, you know, they said it came from, it's not cheap. I mean, I guess their film should be, their film could be cheap, but I don't know. Look, we got our dead spider in there. If I really cared a lot, I could go really, really slow. I could give this more time to steam. I could do a few things, but this, since it's already started to fail, I kind of figured that it was going to leave some adhesive behind. The biggest thing is, as long as this tinted part comes off in one piece, we can deal with the glue. It's not going to be the end of the world, but yeah, it's going to leave it all behind. Yeah, this isn't even sticky. Pretty much just want to go nice and slow, let the steam do the work. Try not to burn yourself too much. You hear that like crinkly sound? You don't want that when you're removing tint. That generally means it's not warm enough, the glue's not released enough. In our case, it doesn't matter because it's going to leave the glue behind either way, but still. this part is not fun because the steam comes up and then basically lands on your hand, and that's less than desirable. Ouch. Throw that outside of the car. Now we pretty much just need to kill some time because that glass is going to be really hot. We don't want to spray anything cold on it. End up cracking it. Put that away. So let's look at this. You can see the glue left behind. You can see this like haziness to it. That's where it left the glue behind. This down here is worse because we didn't have enough heat. So the glue looks like it's gonna be a little bit thicker right there, but it's not gonna be the end of the world. But we are not playing games. Got all the shop towels. Probably just hit it with this for now. This is just LA's totally awesome. You can buy it from the dollar store, Home Depot, wherever. Now, gonna make sure you get it off of the trim panels. You don't need that in your life. This stuff you don't want to let dry on anything, even glass. I usually mix it pretty close to straight up if I'm doing removals. It's a great product. You can use it for all sorts of things. But you can dilute it down, use it as an interior cleaner, you know, you name it, really. It's great. It's great stuff. Now you just kind of wait. See? Oh yeah, it's coming off. I like to use shop towels for this because if you use your good towels, this adhesive turns into goo. You know, like snot basically. And what will happen, he scores! It will get in your towels and it gets sticky again. Like somehow it comes back to being sticky once this stuff dries. And then guess what? Then your towel sticks together and it will never come 100% clean. You'll never get that stuff all the way out of it. So I don't like to use any of that. Any of my good towels. I'll use like junk towels like this for cleaning up the trim panels and stuff. But man, it looks like it's coming off pretty good. That's the tricky thing about removals. You really never know what you're getting into. You can look at a film and think, oh, it's gonna come off easy, or you know, whatever, and sometimes you can just be dead wrong. So what we really probably should have done is left the back glass just completely clear. That way we could see any little specks of stuff, any specks of glue left behind or anything like that. But as easy as this is coming off, I don't think we're gonna have any issues with contamination. So now we're getting down into here. I don't know if you could, you can feel the difference totally. So what we'll do is we'll just spray that, let it sit. If it was really thick adhesive or really good strong adhesive, I'd use ATR, which is a dedicated adhesive remover. It's what it's made for. It works phenomenal. Got a little bit of stuff up here. It's just really expensive. Like, this stuff is like $6 a gallon. That stuff's like $21 a quart. So yeah, obviously I don't want to use it unless I absolutely have to. But for certain adhesives, you just aren't going to get anything better than ATR. Hate to tell you. Some ways this is like peeling layers off of an onion. You get that top layer of glue and junk off of there, and then spray it down again and wait. Looks like we got some glue through there. Sure do. Now eventually, probably after this pass, we'll get to the point where we can just hit it with some glass cleaner and a scrubby. Just scrub anything else off. Then we'll spray it with our slip solution, wipe it down with the towel again, just double check everything, and then we'll do our final. We'll do everything on the outside, cutting our film and heat shrinking it. Cutting it to the final shape, all that. And then obviously before we go to install it, we will go ahead and squeegee, spray our glass down again, squeegee it, and we should be golden. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see the soap on the outside of the window. That's why I said we could have waited and done it a little bit differently. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Stuff's coming off really easy, so go ahead and use this old wore out thing here, an old towel. Just go ahead and spray it with some glass cleaner. This is Amway glass cleaner that somebody gave me the concentrate, and dude, it's pretty awesome. I've been using it. I don't use it a ton. I usually use the spray away, but for instances like this, when you really want more liquid rather than foam, it works really good, and it lasts a long time. I think it's like 3 parts water, 1 part concentrate. So, I mean, I've had it for a year, the bottle for like a year or 2 now. And it works just fine. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you probably know that normally I scrub these with steel wool. I don't want to get adhesive goo stuck in my steel wool, so we're just going to use this old blue scrubby, and then we're going to throw it away. I don't think this window is going to be too gooey, but you never know. Really, I don't think anything's going to come off of it goo-wise, but man, I sank the first thing I threw in there, and now I suck. So, head. Excuse me. Do you hear that squeaking sound? That's what you want. That's when you know your glass is clean, when it squeaks, when it's squeaky clean. So now I'm just gonna stick my hand in here. All right. So we're matching this film, or this old tent. We're gonna match what was already on there. I have a feeling that film has faded. Typically it does. If it's lost its adhesive, if it's failed, it's probably faded. When I pulled it off, kind of looked like it had faded as well. So we're gonna go with 20%. It's kind of tough to say because, man, I don't know, under these lights, it kind of looks like it's 35, but when it's all closed up, it kind of looks like 20. I don't know, because it looked darker without this back window, which obviously it will. So, you know what? I can see right through that pretty much plain as day. Let's go with 35. 35% is in the back of my truck. So, hold that thought. Alright, so we got ourselves some 35%. It's gonna be tough to tell if it, you know, how close of a match it is and stuff, because we have like 70,000 lumens of light in here now, something close to that. So it's super bright in here. And then also we got our white towel sitting there. We got all the, you know, we got that door open, and the light basically is shining directly through the windows. So it might be a little bit tough to match stuff up. I'm really kind of torn on whether it's 35 or 25, but, or 20, I mean, but I don't know. All we can do is get as close as we can. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a prime example of when it would be super handy to have a light meter. So you could tell exactly what, what a window meter's out at. There's just apparently a back order on them. Like, I tried to order one a couple months ago, and apparently nobody has them in stock. Probably something due to the microchip shortage or whatever, but let's go ahead and shut this. I feel like that's pretty close, but I don't know, man. I kind of feel like it might be a little bit light. But you can see that. You can see through that like plain as day. I'm gonna guess that this started out as a 20 and has faded. And like I said, we got our white towel there, so that's gonna make that window look lighter than it actually is. We're gonna send it, because I think that's the closest match to what we had. Like I said, it may have started out life darker than that, but it is what it is. I think these sides are going to be right in the middle. Right in the middle of two different shades. But the important thing is, at least I'll be able to see out of this, because it's not going to be bubbly and distorted. So the reason we have to heat shrink this is because, like these big fingers right here, if we tried to stick this window tint on without heat shrinking this, those little fingers would show up on the inside, and that's how you get those big ripples and stuff like that that we saw on the tint that we just took off. So heat shrinking, it's a really critical part of doing a back glass especially. A lot of other windows you can get away without doing it, but a back glass is generally not one. And of course you gotta make sure you don't overheat the film. You can melt it, you can burn it. I just put a little bit too much tension in there, in that corner. It's not wanting to, it's wanting to pull up off the glass, but I'll show you how you can fix that. Spray with a little bit of water, and that'll help keep it locked down. Downside is the water's going to keep this from getting hot, so it's going to shrink a little bit slower, but you just slow down a little bit, pay attention. There should be no issue. That's a little bit bigger than I want it to be, so I'm going to split it in half. See how much more heat that took? All because it was wet. It didn't shrink as fast. That's okay. Now we got that all nice and smooth. Now we can cut it out. These are pretty simple. They've got a pretty decent sized border, so we don't have to be super precise. I've got that cut. Kids, don't try this at home. This is certainly OSHA approved right here, so just, you know, just don't worry about it. OSHA called, they said it was fine. All came off in one piece, that's nice. So now what we need to do, roll this out of the way. Boop. We pretty much want to look for any little fingers. Got a little bit right here, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. Yeah, because it's just going to squeegee out. If you get big fingers up here or down here, you want to just go ahead and shrink them right now. What causes that is, you know, we cut clear up here, basically. So, you know, we removed like an inch or so of film that was holding, you know, holding that film down. So you get rid of that, sometimes it pops back up. Super simple. All you do is just polish it with, you know, just hit it with the heat gun one more time, just real quick, usually, and you're good to go. All right. Now we are ready to party. So we've already scrubbed this down. So now what we're gonna do, we need to grab one more squeegee. Where's my head at today? Grab our bulldozer. We could use a couple different tools for this, honestly, but we're gonna use this one. So, even though there's no third brake light that we have to tuck our film behind because we just removed it, I like having the bulldozer to get down to that bottom edge. And this will be our last stroke with this squeegee because our handle's gonna hit. Just kind of do one of these. I like to take my bulldozer, just kind of run it down this corner and just push everything out of where, you know, our workspace, basically. Push it down behind the trim, down behind, you know, below our black border. Keep our dust and our dirt, stuff like that. Keep that all at bay. And done. So now I like to go ahead and hit one more. So any of those little bubbles that came up, if they might have a little speck of something in them or whatever, we basically just flushed them down. We're taking care not to spray into our wiring because, I mean, common sense, water and electric doesn't mix. We're misting over the film, so that way anything that's floating around directly above it is going to hit the release liner and stick to it rather than get sucked into my film. When I peel this release liner off and expose the adhesive, give it a pretty liberal spray. You don't want any dry spots. You hit dry spots while you're trying to shift this into place. It can crease on you, crinkle, and, you know, sometimes you're just gonna have to start over if that happens. If it creases up a big enough crease, or, you know, a hard enough crease that you can't heat it out and touch it up. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to have to start over. So just kind of get these big wrinkles out of the release liner. That's not gonna hurt anything. I just like them to be laid down pretty smooth for the next step, which is we're gonna reverse roll this. Some people will peel this release liner off and call it, you know, Frankenstein. You hold out your hands, basically, you put your film on your arms. I'm not gonna say I can't do it, Just the times that I have tried it, I always end up touching something and getting a bunch of dust and stuff in my film, and I don't like that, so this works easier for me. If you're a mummy style or a Frankenstein style, you know, person, do whatever works for you, but I like the reverse roll personally, and I don't roll mine directly onto the glass almost ever. Sometimes I will. It just depends. Normally for me, it just doesn't work. Give a quick little mist. Always end up like getting some kind of a weird pinch or something when I try to roll it straight onto the glass. So we're just gonna kind of line up our sides. Make sure that doesn't touch anything. If the very edge of your film touches, you know, something, it's not a huge deal. But if the adhesive side, like the actual adhesive touches, it's gonna pick up some dust. It don't matter what it touches, honestly. If it touches anything, it's gonna suck some dust off of it. So we're starting to tack up a little bit sooner than I want, so we'll just go ahead and give it a quick little mist. Get this bottom a little more lubricated, so that way I can, you know, slide it where I want it. Kind of roll that up in so it's not touching anything, and we can see we need to go one way or the other. We need to come down a bit. Oh, there we go. So what I'm doing, I'm looking down here, I'm looking all along my sides here to make sure I don't have any light gaps, no gaps, you know, no light showing anywhere, like right here on this edge. So we're just gonna kind of lift it and twist it a little bit, and then, you know, then we'll check back down here, make sure everything's good there. It can be kind of misleading. You can get some soap on an edge and think, oh yeah, it can go two ways. Sometimes it can look like there's a light gap there, and you can try to shift it to get rid of that gap. And then sometimes it will, you know, look like you don't have a light gap, and then you start squeegeeing and realize that you do, and you've got to, you know, depending on how much you've squeegeed, sometimes you just got to start over, and that sucks. And you want to make sure you don't go too fast. If you hit a little dry spot or something, you can crease your film. So just kind of want to slow and steady. It's something that only experience can teach you, and once in a while you're gonna get in too big of a hurry and end up creasing it anyway. So, you know, just be prepared. And it's also probably going to happen when you're a little bit behind and you need to, you know, hammer down so you can catch up, and then you're gonna put yourself further behind, and then you're gonna be super frustrated. Ask me how I know. It's from experience. That's like the only time like I really ever like really mess up is when I'm in a hurry. I don't even have to be in a hurry. I can just be like, yeah, I want to get this done real quick because I got other stuff to do or whatever. And then like when I like, it could be the only car I have, but be like, man, I need to go here and go there and take this, you know, do this and that. I'll mess up. Like a 2-hour car will turn into a 3.5 hour car, and it's like, man, so frustrating. Go ahead and hammer that out. Now we're hard passing this. We're pushing really, you know, pretty hard trying to get any other, like any moisture on these defroster lines. If you look real closely, you can see me pushing bubbles down that. There's moisture just sitting on those lines. We want to get rid of it. So now we'll squeegee out our bottom one more time. The only bad thing about this squeegee is it's not super stiff, so it'll do a decent job at getting rid of moisture, like extracting it, but it's not the best. You will notice, if you have a good eye, a little bit of moisture hanging out down there. Now check this out. We got some fingers that want to hang out right here. Let's try to push them out one more time. And now, nope, it's not working. So, oh no, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with these little fingers? Really simple. We got one right there too. Throw this away. Trust me, if you step on it, you're gonna bust your butt. Wrong tool. So we're gonna take this little guy and our heat gun, and we're just gonna shrink these out. See how we're drying up the moisture? This is why we're gonna use this one, so it doesn't scratch the film. Because now we're not, you know, working with our release liner. We're working with the actual finished product, what the customer's gonna see. So we don't wanna scratch it or anything like that. But all we've done, we've just shrank that film up a little bit more, and then this suede or, you know, whatever material it is gonna help suck up some of that moisture, keep it from getting sucked back down into the film. So it's kind of a two things happening at once. You gotta be careful with this, because if you get it too dry, the film will actually stick when you go to push it, and you can, you know, cause a crease. So you don't want to do that. Let's say you don't have one of these, whatever you want to call it, a little deal with the suede or whatever. You can take any kind of hard card you want. I'll take this little foot, for example, wrap it in a towel. You could use a shop towel. You could use, you know, whatever. And push it out just the same. You're going to achieve the same thing. So let's get out here, fly. Go ahead and try to mop up our mess back here. I don't really want to push on the film at all, because we could make it come loose. We got a couple little fingers down there. We might as well just go ahead and hit them real quick. You need to be really careful with the heat gun when you're using it inside the car, because you can melt stuff if you're not paying attention. So just low and slow. If this is a more difficult back window, I probably would have double shrink it, which means lift up the film a second time, and then shrink just the edges, the top and bottom edges, and that just shrinks that up a little bit better. But I was willing to chance it, because this isn't really, you know what I mean, it's an easy window to get access to. There's nothing really blocking it, so anywhere I get a finger, I can get some heat on it, push it out, no biggie. This is why I keep this heat tape on there. It helps absorb a lot of the heat, so if you touch something with the edge, it's not gonna mess it up. It's not gonna melt it or burn it or anything. Pretty heavy on the glass cleaner. That's our heat box demo slabs. Pretty heavy on the glass cleaner, because like I said, we got soap on here, straight up soap. So sometimes you're gonna have to clean this twice if you want it to look good. Mainly, I just want to make sure that I don't have any fingers. If I have any little moisture bubbles or anything like that that's trying to pop up, I want to go ahead and address them now before I go putting the headrest back on and all this stuff. Like right here's a prime example. I don't know if you can see it. It's not even a finger. This would dry out. I don't like to chance that kind of stuff though. Generally, a good rule of thumb is if it doesn't look gray from the outside, it's usually going to dry out. So we got what, like the 5th defroster up. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, we can see it right here. So hard card and shop towel, and it's gone. So we got some little microfiber bits on the glass. I don't know if that even show up on the camera, but got a little bit of dust from the microfibers, but no big deal. We got some steam action going on in here from where it's hot. And other than that, we really just have to clean up our mess. So let's see if we can't clean this up real nice. Get rid of that condensation that's making it look like it's curling off the glass. And I like to just really lightly, just really lightly, just kind of wipe this down, just to get some of the streaks and smears and stuff like that off of it. Alright guys, we're back. Video cut off, GoPro got too hot. I hate when that happens, but here you go. You can see we got a pretty close match. I don't think it's dead on, but I mean, it's gonna be really close. You're gonna probably need a light meter to tell the difference. The important thing is it's not all wrinkled up, it's not bubbled up, it's not wavy and distorted. You can see out of this just fine. And you know, I don't see how the customer couldn't be happy with this. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, get this out. I've got another one coming here in a little bit. Got some more videos to edit and stuff. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.